You need to squat. Like a lot. And here's why. A squat is one of the most functional movements you will do every day for the rest of your life. Don't believe me? Try going to the bathroom without doing a squat. Every time you sit your booty down on that seat and get back up, you are doing a squat movement pattern. It is the most beneficial thing you can do for yourself to ensure that you live a long, independent life and do not need help getting on and off the throne. But seriously, although I'm never very serious, it really is my favorite exercise. Now, there's a lot of exercises that are beneficial and effective and functional and important for everyday life, but the squat is my all-time favorite. If you're going to do nothing else, when in doubt, squat it out. Let's talk about it, because there are a lot of rules when it comes to squats, and I used to get really hung up on these. Like, my feet had to be perfectly parallel, and my heels had to be down, and they couldn't be too wide, right under your hips. You can't arch your back. You can't drop your head down. You can't round your back forward. You have to keep your core engaged. Like, you're supposed to be able to sit all the way back and get your hips down, thighs parallel with the floor or lower, depending on who you listen to or not. There's just so many rules. So here we go. You can break the rules, especially if you're having joint pain. If you're having any pain, knee, hip, back, when you do a squat, separate your feet a little wider. Maybe even turn your toes out a little bit. Like, you can break the rules if you're still getting the same results. Don't go back as far. Don't go as deep. A squat is a squat, even if you go down 2 inches and back up. That counts. For me personally, for my body type, my shape, my hips are wide. There's stuff going on. My knees turn in. My shoulders round forward. Right? My back tends to arch. Keeping all of those things in mind, I used to stress like crazy to get the perfect squat, and I just couldn't quite do it. It's really important that you listen to what's going on in your body. You stop when there's pain. Maybe you work with a personal trainer or take a live group fitness class with your girl to help get some feedback on your form to figure out how you can make it work for you. But the bottom line is, you need to squat. You need to figure this bad boy out. The second thing I want to say is, don't add any weight to your squat until you figure out your form. So I see people loading up, carrying heavy dumbbells, maybe trying to do a barbell squat, carrying a kettlebell, goblet squat, whatever it might be. But they haven't mastered the form of the squat. So they're loading up their joints with extra weight, making it harder, i.e. more painful, before really figuring out the form and the function of just moving their body weight through the movement. So start with a chair. Just very literally sit down and get back up. Something that's not too low. Have your heels out in front of the chair, about 6 inches or so. Sit down into it, squeeze yourself, and lift up. The other thing to note is that you're not just using your heels. This one tripped me up for a while too. Like, press through your heels and make sure your toes are light. Now, the toes light thing can still be helpful, because some people roll forward and they're on the ball of the foot and their toes and their heels are up. That's not good. You do want to make sure you're pressing into your heel so that it stays down. But you're not only on your heel. You are using your entire foot as foundation. Press through your toes. Press through your heels. Make sure you're not rotating in, rotating out. In fitness, we look at the kinetic chain point. Head, ear over shoulder, shoulder over hip, hip over knee, knee over ankle. Why am I telling you this? I lost my train of thought. Because all movement starts from the foot. So if your foot is rotated in or rotated out, your whole form is going to be off. Your squat's going to be off. So starting there, anchoring your feet, wide shoe or barefoot, so you can really spread your toes and press into the floor. Down push into your whole foot, squeeze back up. You don't have to do a bajillion of them, although I recommend that you do a lot. Start with a few, see how it goes, work your way up. Once you feel good about the form, you work on getting a little deeper, you work on getting a little stronger, then you work on doing more. Then, and only then, you load it up with extra weight. All right, join me on Zoom. We will squat it out together, because there's nothing better than squatting with friends. Until next time, think of me every time you get off the toilet. Bye.